Welcome, everybody, to the first podcast of the Hunting Seasons of Life. This podcast is going to be about not just hunting and not just life, but how they both mix together in the battle that most of us face on a daily basis as far as trying to juggle work, life, family, and the outdoors. This is going to be a great podcast. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Sitting in my tree stand, watching the leaves land, praying for a little love. Cause it's opening day and us pass through boys looking to drag out a big old bug.
Time. How many of us out here wish we had more of it? That's for sure. When you look at different aspects of life, as far as family, kids, wanting to be in the outdoors, but still doing your daily activities and your responsibilities, growing up kind of sucks. You know, myself personally, I have two daughters, 12 years old, 7 years old, both of them super active in sports, playing travel soccer. We're in and out all the time. I'm lucky if I even get to see my wife during the week. And then on weekends, of course, we're mixing in games and travel and all that. And then at the same time, I'm wishing I had time to be out fishing, or I'm wishing I had time to be out setting deer stands. And the juggle of that is such a battle, and trying to make sure that we make the right decisions to keep not only everybody happy at home, but to keep ourselves happy too, and be ready for the upcoming hunting season is truly a difficult thing to juggle.
Living now, lay down, close our eyes and go to sleep. We got a 135 outside in 20 and we're watching him through the peep.
So my name's Greg, and basically, back in about 2007, myself and a group of my friends from Michigan decided that we wanted to start filming hunts. And at that point in time, all of us had nothing but time. Maybe we were married, maybe we weren't. Most of us didn't have kids yet. If we did, they were really little. And we were in the outdoors constantly. So we decided to start Pass Through Productions. And the whole thing started with myself and my friend Steve Ackright buying a video camera. It was one of the nice new cameras, cost us about $1,000, I think. It was the top of the line deal for back in 2007. And we sat in his backyard and shot our bows off the ground, out of tree stands, all kinds of different ways, trying to learn how to film and be a cameraman with nobody having any formal training at it. And it was a blast. I mean, we were getting together every single weekend. We were getting together during the week. We were out getting lots of time, not only practicing with our bows, but also trying to learn how we were going to run this camera. And then we pulled in about 6 or 7 other friends who were going to run the show with us, and decided that we were going to allow them to be part of the pro staff, which also meant, hey, who's going hunting tonight? Well, I got to get the camera in your hands because we've got one camera and 7 hunters. So we would do camera pass offs, and it really worked pretty well. We had a lot of success. The first hunt ever, I went out with Steve. We filmed a bunch of bucks. Of course, it was early doe season and we couldn't find a doe to kill on camera, but we got a lot of cool buck footage, and we were like, hey, this might actually work. So, in the midst of all that, we got ourselves wrapped in with Bill Winky and Midwest Whitetail, and we became, at the time, we had 3 2-man teams that became part of Midwest Whitetail Michigan. And Midwest Whitetail was awesome because to us, never doing this before, it was discounts on Realtree and discounts on Hoyt bows and discounts on this and discounts on this, which all seemed like, wow, this is sweet. We're getting all this stuff at really good deals. But the fact of the matter was, we had to buy all the stuff. And it was kind of crazy looking back at it now because we were giving our time to be part of something, um, because we did want to be part of it. We had nothing against Midwest whitetail, even looking back on it now. But um, we spent a lot of money to be part of that show. Buying bows, buying real tree camo, buying different arrows, buying different quivers and rests and sights and trigger releases and all this stuff that you had to have if you were going to be on the show. We were spending thousands of dollars to be part of this. So we thought to ourselves, well, what can we do that we don't have to be spending all this money, that maybe we can profit from it? And we decided that we were going to start to make our own DVDs and just sell our own show. And that was back in the time when everybody wanted hunting DVDs. So um, we got ourselves set up where every year we made ourselves a whitetail DVD, we made ourselves a turkey hunting DVD, all based out of Michigan. And then we got ourselves mixed in with the big television show out of Michigan called Michigan Out of Doors with Jimmy Gretzinger. And if Jimmy ran himself into a bind for an episode and he needed some filler, he'd give us a call and we'd show up and hand him some footage that he could run on his episode, and then vice versa in return helped to promote our name for us. And it took off. It was a lot of fun seeing how everything grew and what we could make out of it. And coming out of the DVD era, it became, well, what can we do to have a television show? Michael Waddell and the Drurys and all these guys that we're watching were like, why can't we do this? We're making the same kind of content. So we decided to jump in with the Hunt Channel and make a television show.
The Providers is brought to you by SmokingIt.com.
Well, we'd been self-taught the whole way until now as far as how this industry works, so it was a learning curve. It costs a lot of money to be on television, and to the tune of $20,000 for 13 episodes to be aired on television. And if we're not writing those checks out of our own pocket, we got to have sponsors to do that. So we started to ask around and see if we could get sponsors. Well, everybody wants to sponsor you, and they'll give you a discount on their product, so that you're showing it on the show. But to try to get them to physically write a check is like pulling teeth. So we were fortunate enough. We landed a great friendship with Blinded Hunting, which made a tree safety strap that I still highly recommend to anybody. We're not sponsored by them anymore, but I can tell you that blinded safety strap saved Steve Ackright's life on a fall in Ohio. And Smoking It Smokers and Banks Hunting Blinds. I mean, we did some good work with some sponsors, and we appreciated the hell out of all of them. But it was expensive, and now that you've got a TV show that you've got to make a certain number of episodes for, we had all this pressure that we had to produce hunts. The problem is now we're 3-4 years down the road. We're all married. We all have young kids. We all have different things that we have to do. We've got jobs. We have to work. Having a hunting show isn't paying our bills, it's paying to have a hunting show. So we had a ton of pressure to produce, and on the weekends it wasn't necessarily, oh, I'm getting up because it's deer season. It was, I'm getting up because I got to see if we can make an episode today. And after a while that becomes a job, and I never wanted hunting to become a job. I love every minute I'm in the woods, but when you have to start feeling the pressure of it, that part of it does kind of take a toll. And like I said, we were trying to juggle all of it, and eventually, back in about 2018, we finally just decided we had to call it quits. It was getting to be too much, and we wanted to go back to just loving hunting and loving what we did outdoors, and that has happened. And over the course of that, now our kids have gotten older, and we're starting to say, hey, I'd kind of like to film my son or my daughter on a hunt, or hey, with all this new cell phone technology, I could easily just film my hunt with an iPhone and not have to carry 50 extra pounds of camera gear with me. And if you don't have a TV show, there's no expectation of quality. There's no expectations really at all to go kill something. or to get it on camera. So it's taken the pressure off of us, and we're kind of excited to start doing some filming again. But essentially, what this podcast is going to be about is not just me talking. It's going to be about bringing in friends, bringing in, Steve Ackright, Matt Godown, Ron Van Meter, Todd Bowen, Joe Ream, the people who originally made Pass Through Productions happen, people who have a love for the outdoors, and people who are lifelong friends that we can't wait to share stories with you and really see what we can turn this into. We want to be the guys that you can relate to because you have to get up and go to work in the middle of the rut, or your kid has a football game on November 3rd, which you'd rather be in the woods, seeing if you can kill your biggest buck to date. But sometimes life happens and it is what it is. So we hope you guys tune in next week. We're going to have a great show. It's going to be the kickoff show. I'm going to have Steve Ackright with me, and we are going to get this thing rolling.